morning, everyone. Thank you, Irina. So I'm delighted to be here with you today and also for tomorrow, as I think we're in for two very inspiring days, discussing a very exciting topic, packaging. And I'm sure that no one here in this room will deny that packaging is, of course, extremely important, especially in the consumer industry. It's very often the first point of contact that we have with our brands. And it's a way of communicating with our consumers. But I think we're in for a treat because we're not discussing just packaging in any industry. We're discussing packaging in the beauty industry. And as you know, in the beauty industry, we not only sell products, but we also sell emotions. And I selected a few pictures just to start the day. I very much like this one. It just conveys freshness and happiness. So this is a beautiful bottle, fragrance bottle designed for Marc Jacobs. But so we sell emotions. We also sell aspirations. So this is a picture of the beautiful Gucci Premier bottle. So packaging is especially important in the beauty industry when we take those two things into account. So we're discussing not only packaging, but innovation in the packaging industry. So there are different ways of looking at innovation in the packaging industry. We can look at first the design of the container, the primary packaging, and I really like this beautiful jar here from Dior, L'Or de la Vie. We can also look at innovation in terms of material. So here a beautiful wood primary container for a skincare range. And then we can also look at innovations in terms of techniques, decorating techniques. This is a beautiful example, I think, of La Prairie fragrance, where you have this glass bottle encased between two acrylic panels, and the decorating around the bottle is just really beautiful. But then we can also look at innovation in terms of what I call user friendliness innovation, or how we surprise our customer. And this is a really nice example here from Guerlain Noir Mascara, where they're just surprising her customer, and they hid a little mirror in the case, which is absolutely beautiful. Innovation is also in terms of graphics, how we use graphics and design in packaging. MAC is especially skilled at doing that, at applying graphics from their ads directly onto packaging. And then this is another example of how graphics on packaging or combined with packaging can really help build a brand. This is an example from Benefits that really helped build their brand equity around cute designs. And then, of course, there's secondary packaging, which is very important as well, as usually a lot of beauty products are encased first in a beautiful outer package as well. And of course, since we're approaching the Christmas season, this is where it all comes to meaning. But then I think packaging in the beauty industry is especially fun. It's also a way to just have fun. And this one is just a perfect example where it's just a candied apple. This is actually a fragrance from DKNY Be Delicious. And it's just a different twist, basically, on a fragrance bottle. I also liked those cute little containers. This is from a Korean brand in Asia, as you know. They have also very innovative ways of treating cosmetics. And those here encase different types of skincare products, like a brightening tomato mask, for instance. So it's just a good way of having fun. And I also took a few examples from outside of the industry, since tomorrow we'll see outside of the beauty industry how we can leverage packaging or innovation in packaging. And I'm sure most of you know this picture, but I just thought it was a nice illustration. And this one again with a milk bottle. And to finish, like the Nike Stadium shoe box here, where you just take out your sneakers and you actually already feel like you're in the stadium in full action. So packaging is just a very fun topic, and especially in the beauty industry, so that's why I'm very excited to be here. And we have really, really great speakers, each with their own areas of expertise, to discuss various topics in innovation in packaging. So without further ado, let me introduce actually our first speaker of the day, who is Rima Driscoll. So Rima has been with P&G for quite some time, for the past 18 years. And then in the last 14 years, she actually focused on deal making and transactions. So she started her career with P&G in the pharma licensing acquisitions for 8 years in the US in the head office in Cincinnati. And then after that, she actually started the consumer healthcare licensing and acquisition group that she headed for 3 years before transitioning to corporate global business development and M&A, also for about 2 years. And she recently moved to Geneva. So we're actually almost neighbors because I'm also based in Geneva. And there she heads up the EMEA Business Development Organization. And she continues to work on corporate deals. So Rima brings with her a wealth of experience in transactions, looking at how to leverage innovation from outside of her company and how to bring it inside the company. So she's also a board member of the Trustee Licensing Executive Society, and she's a chair of the consumer product sector as well. So this morning, Rima is going to tell us a little bit more how she leverages or how she helps facilitate innovation within Procter & Gamble and how she brings it inside, basically inside the company. So please join me in welcoming Rima. And you have a microphone ready? Oh, this one. Okay. All right. You can use this one. Okay. All right. So thank you.
No little lapel. No.
Okay. Sorry about that.
So can this will go forward and back. No. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Well, thank you, Nancy, and thanks for having me today. I spoke just a couple months after I moved to Geneva at the last INACOS conference, and it was a great conference there, and I'm happy to be back. I have been at B&G for a very long time, and I started very young. So 18 years has gone by very quickly. And I'm going to focus on packaging. I'll give you some examples at the end. But what I'm going to talk to you about is how P&G really gets their innovation. As you know, we're a huge company. I'll take you through some background on our company just to understand where we come from and how important innovation is to us. We have some great packaging examples. Irina and I were just talking yesterday. There's some great internal examples. We have a huge design organization. We have lots of different functions within our company, and we have a huge design organization. And interestingly, Nancy, when you were showing some of your bottles, Gucci is actually a P&G prestige brand. And so we have, some of the top prestige perfume brands such as Gucci and Lacoste and many others. And so as we look at that and we look at some of the packaging that happens internally and some of the folks that we bring in to make sure that happens, it's really an interesting area. I know, Richard, you do a lot of work with P&G as well. So lots. And I think one thing that you'll find about P&G is there's no invented here syndrome within our company. It is very, how do we get the best technology? How do we get the best innovation? How do we get the best packaging? And how do we bring it in? I'm going to talk about P&G a little bit. I'm going to talk to you about Connect and Develop, which is how we get all of our opportunities in. And I'll just talk to you a little bit about how we do that. It's actually a really nice system that's come up over time, and it really brings in at least 50 to 80% of our new innovation into the company. And then I'll give you a couple of examples when it comes to packaging. And so just a little bit about P&G. 300 brands within our company. I know many of you know some of these. We're in 180 countries and 75 global markets. So lots of opportunity to really get out there and get with the consumer. Much of our company is really built on partnerships and in even the way that the company started. We're very driven by innovation. And we're the global advertising leader, which really lets us showcase many of our products to the consumer. It's interesting, having been around for a long time and having worked with many of you here and many big companies within the world, the media buy power that a company like P&G has just from all the advertising that we do in TV and print and ads is unbelievable. And many times as we work with our partners and we talk about who's going to be responsible for different parts, we sometimes get anywhere from a 30 to 40% savings over most companies as they look at doing this, which really allows us to get out there and really showcase many of our products. We're 175 years old now. It was a big anniversary, and we're headquartered in Cincinnati, which is where I spent the first 17 years of my career. We have 7 sites within Cincinnati, about 11,000 employees just in that city, and These are our towers downtown. And our business is almost $84 billion. And that's an important number because I'm going to talk to you about some of the brands and show you some of what we do. So that gives you a little flavor of the many brands we have. We obviously have many beyond that. And what you'll find with our company and many others is we tailor many of these brands on regional basis. So sometimes you'll see names such as Tide in the U.S. as Ariel here in Europe. But we really work to tailor the packaging, the products, the innovation on a country-by-country basis. We obviously try to go global as much as we can, but we understand that different companies have different needs, especially as we've moved into Asia and all sorts of areas. So these are our $25 billion brands. And just as some perspective, one of the things I always talk to small companies about, or inventors that come to us and they tell us that they have a great product and a great product that they think that P&G would really be interested in. I always ask them, what brand would this fit under? Because when you think about a company like ours with so many brands and $25 billion brands, we're probably not going to develop a brand just around your product. It's just not how we would function. And so it's really important for people to have that mindset coming in and bringing in innovation. So this just talks about, again, talking about what the foundation is, and it really deals with consumers. And the two pieces of foundation within our values is the P&G brands and the P&G people. I won't go through this in too much detail for you. But when we talk about what drives us, it's really that we're purpose-driven and value-led, and the consumer is boss. This is something that's posted all over in every building and every conference room in the company. It's been around for a long time. Nancy mentioned I'm part of the Licensing Executive Society, and we've brought in lots of interesting folks on the consumer product side to really give companies a flavor of how you really need to understand the consumer to design your product, to design commercial innovation and how you reach those consumers, and really just understanding that you're not going to capture everyone on every product, no matter how great it is, and kind of the different segments for each product and each consumer. And with that, we talk about innovation as being our lifeblood. And I did want to mention, I know Irina said my presentation may not be online. It will be. So you won't get the video because I'm not sure how that would come over, but you'll certainly have this. Interestingly, I just want to highlight when P&G was formed with William Proctor and James Gamble, they were brother-in-laws living in Cincinnati, and they were both buying the same raw materials and paying a lot of money for them. They decided to form a joint venture to get a better deal from the suppliers for the raw materials that they were buying, and with that, they formed the company many years ago. I'm going to talk to you now about connect and develop. It's actually a trademarked term that we use, but it really is how we function on a day-to-day basis, how we bring technology in, how we scout for technology, and how we really are moving forward with innovation. I just wanted to show you just a glimpse of some of the innovation. There's obviously many, many more examples with all the brands, but just taking you through how it started with Ivory soap that many of you know from years ago, and it was really a candle at first, and all the way to Crisco vegetable shortening, Dreft, which was a household detergent, and then Tide, which is a $5 billion, $8 billion brand, and Crest toothpaste, which was the first preventative tooth decay toothpaste, all the way through Head and Shoulders, which was the first anti-dandruff shampoo, to Pampers, which clearly made a big difference in the world that we know today. And then kind of coming to some interesting ones. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, but it's actually like a miracle product that if you have kids that are running around and scratching your walls is a must-have. All the way to thinking about sustainability. And actually the packaging examples I'm going to have for you later are really both based on sustainability, which is where we spend a lot of time. We certainly have a lot of great design packaging. I didn't include that today, but certainly something to talk about in a future time. But when you think about Tide cold water and thinking about sustainability and economy and even helping our consumers save money in cold water, all the way to Braun, and then our new invention in the U.S. is Tide Pods, which has just taken off crazy. When you think about this packaging, it's actually a tub that has these little pods. And so rather than pouring in detergent stuff, you literally just throw them in your washer. I guess for people who have a lot of time to do that, it may not make a difference, but for many, it's just easy to do. But they're beautiful. They're orange and blue little balls that you throw in the washer, and the packaging is this bowl with them. Really an interesting example. I was trying to actually get it to bring in. I know it's not very beauty focused, but it is quite beautiful. And then again, just strengthening our innovation and program pipeline. We always want to make sure that we're doing the best for our consumers, and we're really working against our competitors and making sure that we have a full portfolio of innovation. So when you think about our brands are really never just one product. It is an array of innovation under each. And we always think about how far can this brand go. When you think about some of our beauty brands, such as Olay, it started with like your grandmother's cream in a tub, and it was pink, and it had like a little rose smell, and you put it on, and now it's got, anti-aging and masks, and we go all the way from a lower end product all the way to a top end Pro X, which has beat, the top products on the market. And so really just building a portfolio behind each one. When you think about CoverGirl, it's the same thing of who that is targeted towards younger girls. We have Max Factor in Europe, which is really a more of a fashion and big cosmetics group. And so just thinking about how do you really have the breadth of innovation behind your products, and that's where we really think about how do we get there. And we always say we can't be everywhere and think of everything. And so for that, we really need to tap into what other companies have, what other individuals have, and how we're going to get there. And so we talk about at P&G, we have 8,000 scientists in R&D, and there's over 2 million scientists and engineers that can really work in our areas of product innovation and product design. And so we do our best to tap into those as well. And as we've started Connect and Develop, I think it's almost been 12 years now. It began as an area within P&G, and now it's really how we innovate. Again, when we think about how we're innovating and what we're doing, 50 to 80% of our new innovation is coming externally. Again, there's no invented here syndrome. We're all happy to do that, and we have lots of people on the ground all over the world looking for these. This is just talking about that we've got Connect and Develop leaders worldwide. And one of the interesting things that we do within the company is we have each business unit, there's many business units, each business unit comes up with a needs brief. So they come up with what are our needs within for innovation, what are our needs for our products, where do we want to go as we look at our innovation pipeline, not even thinking about how to get there, what are the products we'd really like to see in that. That needs brief really gets pushed out to this Connect and Develop organization, and then we have people scouring all over the world. I'll kind of show you some different networks in a minute of looking for this innovation. And so it is very concentrated effort. We do much proactively. So of course we get a lot of submissions, and we certainly look through all of those, but when we figure out what the needs are of our different businesses, of our different brands, of our different regions, we go out there and we find it. And often a need that works for one region doesn't work for another, and so how do you still give them the same type of innovation with ingredients or products that work for that country? And so this is a very concentrated effort, and it's also a very deliberate effort within the company. And so just to talk to you a little bit about global business development and how we work. All the green bubbles are internal at P&G. So we have business units, we have R&D and quality assurance and tax and legal and analytics and accounting and regulatory affairs and many, many others, just as an example. And then you kind of look at who do we use to help us. We use consultants and service providers. We have lots of strategic partnerships. We use ecosystems, bankers, advisors, data sources, and all of those. Then when we talk about collaborating internally, one of the things that we do is we have a website that's called www.png or connectanddeveloppng.com, and people can submit anything that they'd like. There's criteria you have to fill out. If you don't have any IP on this, we'll never look at it, and different things. But anybody in the world could come onto this website and submit ideas, submit products, present different things to P&G. And the way that we collaborate internally on this is this really gets pushed out to all of the organizations. So as they figure out what business unit, we have internal folks once it passes the red face test. And I gave some interesting examples back in Geneva. I didn't put those jokes in today, but we get all sorts of very interesting examples which we would really never do anything with. But we get some really great ideas in here as well, and it always gets pushed out to the business units. Different people evaluate it and then come back to us and let us know what the interest is. So we've got some people that their job is to mine this, to monitor it, and to figure out what's going on. And externally with our partners, everything that you see up here today was developed with a partner. None of these were internal to P&G. They came in through either licensing, collaboration, joint venture, all sorts of different things. And we do all different transactions to make sure it works best for us and for our partners. And with that, we think of everything from the products to designs to the packaging process, and then the go-to-market solutions and how we're going to market these. And here's just a few more to show you. And quite a few of these are actually very much based on packaging, and actually I think all of these are. And I'll take you through the Olay anti-aging product, the Nature Fusion Pantene packaging, and then I'm also going to take you through some Gillette examples. Just a couple more things on functioning, just to give you an idea of just how important innovation is this is kind of your traditional business model, that everything comes in from internally, and it's not uncommon to many companies. And then, there we go. And then you talk about what's the model that we use, and where you see blue, that's just internal, yellow's with partner, and green is with both. And you just really see how we build and extract value, and then how we accelerate that innovation. And you just see so many areas in which we look to both partner and to work together. The types of activities that you'll often see are both in and out. So we in-license and we often out-license, which almost sounds funny from a company such as ours, but there's lots of technology, lots of packaging, lots of patents that are created, as well as capabilities and know-how that we've chosen not to use, or that we don't really think are proprietary and can help other companies, even our competitors. And so there are many products that we choose not to commercialize that we'll license out. There's lots of technologies that we will license out, either because we're not using them or they're not proprietary and we're happy to let others use them, as well as capabilities. Much of this is on manufacturing processes. And then trademarks. We do lots and lots of trademark deals. So many of the products that you might see out there that seem like, wow, is P&G really in that area? We might not be. And you'll see different ancillary products, and there's actually quite a few trademark agreements even on our cosmetics business. And when you think about trademarks and you think about some of Nancy's examples on fragrances, we have a trademark license with Gucci, we have a trademark license with Dolce & Gabbana, we have a trademark license with Lacoste, and all these other products. To be able to use their trademark, we develop the fragrances, the packaging, market that for them, because that's just not an area that they'll go into, and we've got a pretty big fragrance house. So again, we do that in and out. So now to talk to you about a couple examples, and there's one more video in here. And this is going to give you some packaging solutions. The first one is on the anti-aging eye roller, and if you've never used this product, I would highly recommend it. It's actually it's the #2 selling Olay product globally, and it's only been out for several years. Excuse me. And it's really a roller technology that massages and has anti-aging treatment into the eye. And we ended up doing a manufacturing agreement with a Japanese company, Universal Packaging of California, to help us develop particular product. And just to